Hi, I'm Bernardo Moya, founder of The Best You. Are you a motivational speaker, an author, a therapist, a coach, or a business guru trying to raise your profile and reach a global audience? At The Best You, we've been building our brand for many years, helping those in the world of personal development get their message out there through The Best You Expos, The Best You Magazine, and The Best You Online. And now we're looking to grow our community even more. We've recently launched The Best You TV, available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. So now by partnering with us, you can get your show on The Best You TV, you can contribute to The Best You Magazine, add your courses to The Best You Online, and join us at one of the Best You virtual expos happening around the world. Expand your brand, join a growing community that believes that everyone deserves a life without limits.
All right, we're back, day 2. Did you sleep well?
Hey, how are you doing, Mr. Tony?
I'm good. I kept the traditional Miami hat, just to add a little flair for our Miami Virtual Expo. So did you have a good night? Did you have a good dinner last night?
I did. My husband brought dinner, and it was a nice, restful night. How about you?
It was good. I got to sleep early, surprisingly. I'm on LA time, so I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning to be all excited without an alarm clock.
You're on Miami time.
Yeah, well, this is virtual. We're around the world. So what's the weather like in Miami?
I thought it was your turn to check today.
I'm sure it's beautiful like it is every single day. So.
Well, we would just like to welcome everyone to the Best You Miami. And we're excited to be at the expo today. My name is Crystal Richardson, and I am one of your hosts today. And what's your name, sir?
I'm Tony Boldy. I'm the other co-host of this MMI stage, Masters, Mentors, and Influencers.
Yes. And whether it's the main stage or whether it's this stage, there are tons of
Spanish-speaking stage today. We added another stage.
Oh, yes. We would like to say welcome to the Spanish-speaking stage. What I was going to say was no matter what stage, there's tons of prizes. And I want you, Mr. Tony, to tell us how many prizes we have today.
We're at $105,000 worth of prizes from our speakers, from Bernardo, from The Best You. And I've even given a prize, and I think Crystal's actually given a gift, and it's of our time and services and experience. So if we could help you in any way, shape, or form, we look forward to doing that. Lots of great speakers are going to be talking today. Do you have the list of speakers today? I know I have it.
I do.
You want to go down a couple of our speakers that are coming up?
Sure. Go ahead.
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot when I put you on the spot. So here we have Daryl Stern. Oh, no, we have Daryl Stern. Daryl Stern's known around the world. He's our first speaker on the second day here on this stage as the digital marketing Jedi. I mean, he's being the voiceover of Scooter Computer for 4 episodes of Schoolhouse Rock. I mean, you remember Schoolhouse Rock? Who doesn't? If you're at least my age. Winning national awards and playwright in high school. Jedi of digital marketing teaches a philosophy that marketing is theater. He's one of our lovely guests. Do you want to grab another one? I know there's Jen, there's Dee Dee. I know you're excited about Dee Dee, good friend of yours.
I am. She's so amazing. And Bernardo continues to let us know in a good way, that one of the main things that she's done is she spoke at the Best You. And after that, even though she already had a lot of things going on in her life, her career just skyrocketed. So she does a lot all over the place as an entrepreneur, as an executive producer in finance, and a serial entrepreneur, a business mentor, best-selling author, angel investor. She's amazing.
Absolutely.
And she has some prizes for us too on the giveaway list. So we'll be talking about that more when she speaks.
I love it. And so Jen Beck, I want to go by her. She's our second speaker. International coach for women over 40 who have been struggling with weight and health issues over the last 20 years. Jen has empowered thousands of women to transform their lives by ditching the diets and drugs and instead solve the root cause of their health and weight challenges. And wouldn't we all love to do that? She coaches women on how to create long-lasting results through small strategic changes. That's Jen Beck. Do you want to jump on Lizette?
Sure. So Lizette, she's doing a panel today, Lizette Cumberland, and she's a trainer, speaker, leader, teacher, and she grew up in a naval base in Cuba with her Jamaican father. And she's basically a motivational speaker and has done a lot with forensics and And part of this is forensics. It says competitions in high school. And what else do we have? Which continues into her first 2 years of college. She graduated from the Old Dominion University with a bachelor's degree in international studies. So she'll be doing a panel with us today.
Wonderful. And then we have Anna Teresa Dengo. Anna retired after more than 3 decades of working in the international field. Management graduate from Harvard University. I love that school. Some of my actual students are at Harvard right now. They're offering some free online classes if you guys want to check out Harvard. And these kids are 15 at Harvard. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
Ambassador of Costa Rica and Washington, D.C. Diplomat. Wow. Currently co-author of A Search for Purpose and Life Coach. She serves as an ambassador to Costa Rica, as a diplomat in Washington, D.C. and New York, co-author of A Search for Purpose from the best-selling series Wake Up and Live Your Life You Love. She is currently in the process of writing 2 more books, one of which is Turn the Page, How to Create, Embrace, and Step into the Next Chapter of Your Life. And then we have Christina, if you want to grab Christina.
Sure. So Christina Pajal, I don't really want to say that wrong, but she's a coach, trainer. She's also a speaker, author who helps individuals find their voice and their way to take their life to the next level. She helps them overcome fears and the lack of clarity to step up their game.
Right. And she was one of our panelists yesterday, and so was Barbie on the red carpet. If you remember, both of them showed up.
Yeah, Barbie did too.
Yeah. So Barbie Layton, I think it is, after 2 decades of successfully working a traditional job in the United States and South Korea, Barbie did the soul searching, soul, and not the SOEL, but soul searching. Many of us are currently doing during the unprecedented pandemic. Of course, we all are experiencing that together. She received a MA, Master's of Arts, from the world famous University of Santa Monica in spiritual psychology. That's right around the corner from where I live, actually, a wonderful college.
Oh, really?
I love it. A lot of my friends are actually going there. So if you have a chance to check it out, it's got an amazing campus, amazing pool, fields, just a beautiful school. With her professor, Ron and Mary, who participated in their Cannes Film Festival winning documentary, which is a big deal. That's like the Academy Awards for our world, as a counselor to women surviving life sentences in Croatia. As a humanitarian counselor to women who serves life sentences, and with a degree in spiritual psychology, Barbie is helping people manifest wealth, dream homes, dream jobs, and narrowly avoiding illness. So she talked all about that yesterday, and she's going to share that with us today.
And one of the favorites of the Best You and one of my dear friends is Miss Chantel Simone. She will be joining us, and she's the founder and CEO of Chantel Simone International. And she is an experienced professional in mind mastery since 2013. And one of the things that she also does is she has a number of degrees. Like there's just like a lot of them in mastering NLP. She teaches and she trains in that, and timeline mastery and business process re-engineering. And she has a bachelor's and in business, and she has expanded her professional research and done things in Japan, Australia, the UK, Canada, United States, and the Caribbean.
Wow.
Her mission is to transform souls, renew their minds, and to help people get at the core of truly who they truly are. And there's some things that we're going to talk about when she's on related to some new endeavors that she's doing. And it's just skyrocketed. Her career this past year, the end of the year and beginning of this year, has just skyrocketed. So I can't wait to talk to her today too.
It's absolutely amazing. And the fact that she was physically in Japan, Australia, and the United Kingdom, Canada, and USA, and the Caribbean. We're doing this virtually with the Best You, but she actually traveled in planes like we used to in the old days.
Right.
So Bethany London's coming up as well. She's going to do in the last quarter of today. She'll be on our MMI stage. Bethany has been quoted as a billionaire catalyst coach. I love that. Billionaire with a B, because of her intuitive insight, clarity, and inspired action and opportunity in creating ways. So working with a 8+ figure company CEO and individuals, London goes beyond the physical state and tunes into the energetic soul. She sees the unseen and creates shifts if there are any blocks, misalignments, or unmet needs present. London's mission is supporting others in experiencing freedom by knowing their truth, hence her recent results-driven book, Get Aligned Now. That sounds very exciting. I'm looking forward to that share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am too. We have a really great lineup today. And then Katia Rabe, she was on with us yesterday. And I love the fact that she says that she speaks 3 languages: French, English, and money. Let me say that again. French,
Spanish,
English, and money. Yeah. But, we're just going to stick with the 3: French, English, and money. And so she helps people. She's a speaker, a coach, an author. And did I mention how many languages she speaks?
Yes, you did. And I jumped on that and added one more for you. We're going to have so much fun today. It's so fun working with you yesterday, and I look forward to many more of these. But so many great speakers today, and tomorrow a whole nother set of speakers. So what did you experience yesterday at the Best You Expo? What were you left with?
Well, part of it is I tend to always mention my notes. So even though, I'm a coach, an author, an international speaker, I've, actually traveled in planes, like you said, to about 30 countries or so, speaking and doing and teaching and all of the things that I do. But I am always a perpetual student. Always. And so I'm always wanting to just suck up as much knowledge as I can. And I mentioned yesterday, I'm a word person. So there was just words flying like everywhere. And I just couldn't write fast enough with all of our speakers. And so anyone, if you missed yesterday, it will be posted, and Tony can give us some more information on that. But you need to go and watch yesterday and listen and have your notebook ready. Lots of great nuggets.
So you created a bunch of T-shirts based on our shares, and I don't know if they're actually going to come to fruition, but you do have a whole T-shirt line that I think you could start if you chose to do that as a business choice.
You're on mute. You're on mute was one of them, right?
Yeah. She and what's it like hosting with me, Mr. ADD himself? Are you getting used to it yet? Are you feeling the energy and finding the flow? It's quite an experience, I hear.
We have our mesh moments. We do have our mesh moments, and we have our overlap moments, but it's been a ride. It's been great. Like I said earlier on our pre-call, my little cheeks here were hurting because I was laughing so hard several times. But
it's funny. What's that?
Guess what?
What prizes?
Guess what? We're going to be able to announce prizes today. Winners, we're going to announce prizes too, but we're going to announce some winners today, right?
Do we want to do it at lunch break, or when do we want to do it?
We'll do it later. I just wanted to let people know that we're actually going to announce some of the people who won from yesterday. And some people we can't tell you because they haven't spoken yet on the main stage. And so we'll have to keep those winners a secret until they speak. But some of you have won. So I'm really, really excited about that. I love games. I'm very competitive, and I like to win. I really do.
I love it. Well, it says on our little ticker 100,000, but it's 105,000. It's going to grow today.
Change that. We did our job. When I was on main stage, I don't know if you were listening, but when I was on main stage with Bernardo, I said, guess what, Bernardo? Like, we have been raising more prizes and more giveaways for you. So I think we're up to like 104 or 5,000. So
105,000. Yeah. And I mastered that number. I'll stop playing games with you today, and I'll speak proper English for you.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. He's going to say the numbers. Right.
$105,000 will be given away in the next 3 days. So you guys stay tuned. Make sure you participate. And we will be doing another red carpet. So those of you watching that are not our speakers that would love to say hi and come on camera and be on the Best You TV, just find the link in your schedule, and you'll be able to know when to come say hi to us. And we'd love to say hi to you if you're watching.
Yeah, we'd love to say hi.
Absolutely. So we've got 2 more days to go. This is the top of day 2 at the Best You Miami. It's our virtual Miami. And then we head over to London and then Dubai. So very excited.
Right.
To travel and do
what are you going to wear for London?
Where in London are we going?
No, what are you going to wear? You have on your Miami.
You know what? I may actually do something more proper. I don't know. I see Bernardo's very casual today, so maybe I'll do something casual. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm lucky if I get through today. I stay focused on it right here, right now.
Well, I tell you, I know you probably can't see it, but in Miami, where we are in Miami, it says 66 degrees. And so it's a little bit cooler than yesterday. It got up to 73. Today, it's only going to be 71.
Nice. Have you been to Miami? I have a few times in the Key West.
Yeah, I have.
A lot of fun when we can assemble. There's a lot of energy there. That city doesn't sleep. Yeah, a lot of
I
fun.
teach dance. I don't know if you caught that yesterday.
I did, and let's bring it up again. So, yeah, what
So
type of dance?
Miami, I'm saying, they dance in Miami, right? So
Salsa, merengue, cumbia. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But what we are here to talk about is the Best You Expo. Okay, so we want to have Mr. Tony. Which way are you? You're this way. Mr. Tony,
This way,
give
yeah, the
us
universe is
some
between us.
information about all of the different things that people can get involved in for the Best You, like the series and the TV and stuff. You want to go ahead and give that spiel?
Absolutely. So very exciting. A lot of people, want to be on TV and don't know how to be on TV. Well, the Best You is teaching you how to be on TV. If you know how to be on TV, they're just building a platform for you to reach a bigger audience. So we have a Best You TV station. We have a network, which is the Best You, but you can actually have your own network, which is your own Viacom or Comcast, where we're at. Would be like what NBC, ABC, and CBS are on for your cable provider. You could have that where you provide all the content, or you could have your own TV show that's all about what you want to talk about, or you could be a guest on somebody else's TV show. I mean, there's so many different ways to cut it up, but because of the power of the Best You and Bernardo, whatever's in you and you want to help bring out, we can help you to develop that and get to a large audience. That's the goal, is to get your message out and help other people.
Right. And then my little spiel on that is the licensing. You can license the Best You. And what that means is if you have a new concept, something that they're not doing yet, that you want to bring to Bernardo, his staff will set up a meeting with him, and then they can think about if that's something that they want to add. Because if you were to look several years ago at Bernardo's email signature, for instance, it would only have maybe like one little Best You logo or two. And now there's like a million of them because he's expanded his brand. He has such a great reach all over the globe. So this is definitely something that would really get you out there. And even being a part of the next expos, whether it's Dubai, London, reach out and see, what kind of speaker package you could get and get your message out there.
Absolutely. And you actually are speaking and doing what you say. You've helped create the Best Youth with a TH for the kids. You want to talk about that?
Yes. So the Best Youth is scheduled for June, 12th and 13th. And very extremely excited about that because with the whole population that we have, meaning that there's like 7.67 billion people in the world. About
your numbers.
Hey, I'm into stats. I'm an engineer, and I have to give the numbers, right? You have to give the stats. The people want to know the stats, right? Don't you want to know the stats?
Yeah, but haven't you heard that 90% of all stats are made up?
Yeah, well, I'm making up one right now. But, there's really not 7.67 billion people. There's just like all these people, right. But 1.2 billion people that are here on this earth are youth. And so for the Best Youth Expo, if you have where you want to share with us how you became an influencer, an innovator, what kind of products you have, or what you've done in your life, or you've been through some things and you've been through bullying or other things like that, that you want to inspire people to be better and be the best you can do that. And it's for ages 8 through 20 is the target audience for that.
Yeah, that much.
Ladies and gentlemen, by this much.
This much. Yeah. Hey, did you see my hat today? It's cool.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. The Best Youth. It's going to be amazing, and it's global. So anywhere in the world, wherever you are, we want you to be a part of that.
I love it. So we're getting right into the show. Saw our little ticker. We had about 5 minutes before we go to our next commercial, and then from that little segment, a lot of these commercials are more than commercials. They're actually information, not just none of them are trying to sell you anything. They're just trying to give you gifts. So we're going to go to that, and then we're going to come back with our first speaker. So you ready? You ready for another great day? All right. Day 2 here in Miami. Very excited to be here at the Best You Expo. We're going to throw it over to our stage director. We'll be right back.
Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast track your career now.
Someone just started or finished uni or just lost their job, mid-40s, what is the best advice you would give them to kind of move forward, reinvent themselves?
Boy, if you just lost your job, first off, you don't want to be in a worry state. Like in Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People and How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, 2 amazing books. What I would do is get yourself in a confident state and take action, okay? You can sit, what am I worrying about is the question. What am I worrying about? Because what keeps people from doing stuff and taking actions is they've lost their confidence. And 2 things that entrepreneurs really need to protect is they need to protect their confidence, because you just operate better in life in a state of confidence, and their gratitude, having gratitude for what it is you have. So if you've just lost your job and you're in a desperate situation, then you have to make yourself resourceful. And so there's resources readily available to you in the area that you already have expertise in, so you may need to immediately go back into that sort of skill set or position. If you know how to solve problems, there are, like, what is a entrepreneur? You know, like the original definition of an entrepreneur, 1804, John Baptiste Say said, it was the first time they used the word entrepreneur in recorded history that we have documentation of, said an entrepreneur is an individual who takes resources from a lower level of productivity to a higher level. So start thinking like an entrepreneur. How do you solve problems for a profit? So you have a skill set, you can solve problems. Who has those problems that will pay you money to solve those things? If I lost my job and I had skills, I would go to someone and say, I will work for you for free for a week, for 2 weeks. Give me your #1 problem in this area that I know how to solve. If I can solve it, you pay me or you hire me. And secondly, I would just probably watch all the interviews that you've done, start studying people, because people like me and other people can hopefully kick your inspiration in the gear. And when you're in a motivated, inspiring state, you're going to go out there, kick ass and take names and ask for help. You know, call your friends, say, who's my genius network? Who can guide me and direct me to resources that are going to make my life better? A not to-do list is more important than a to-do list in many cases. So it's not what you say yes to, it's what you say no to, because everything you say yes to, you're saying no to something else. If you say yes to being on Facebook for 2 hours, you might be saying no to spending that time with your children. If you're going to say yes to watching TV, you're going to say no to, you know, maybe exercise. And if you say yes to staying up late, surfing the internet or looking at porn online, you're saying no to sleeping. So that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that people say yes to that isn't serving them, and they wonder why their life is not where they're at. And I'll tell you, it's not a choice at all, because sometimes these are compulsions, which is what addiction is. So yeah, I think what you're doing and what you're providing, people can learn so much just by absorbing the lessons that people are saying, but don't just hear them. You have to pick people that you resonate with, things that you hear, and instead of going shallow with it, go deep. And if there's anything I did, I went really deep with marketing, and I learned it, I applied it, I got a result, and it's changed my life, and it's changed the lives of tens of thousands of other people too.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Learn and grow from in-depth interviews, documentaries, inspirational talks, and motivational masterclasses from the world's biggest thought leaders, speakers, teachers, authors, coaches, and highly successful business gurus. The Best You TV is now live.
All right, here we are. We're back from the commercial break, and we're just waiting for our first guest to get into the green room. So what do you think? You ready for some more prizes to be given away? What are some of the prizes that we're actually giving away?
Some of the prizes, you want me to get out my little prize list here, Mr.
We're still waiting on our first guest, so we may have our stage director play some more videos. So as long as he's on deck for that, until we
Okay.
see them.
Okay. So until then, let me just go over some of the giveaways. Here's my little Vanna White. You know, she's the one that
Oh, I love it.
not clone, but has where we all try to be like her when we're showing things.
You want me to pull up my photo with Vanna, my friend?
No.
She's a dear friend of mine. I love Vanna.
But the Best You Expo has a number of giveaways on here. So we would just like to thank Bernardo and all of those that worked very hard in the Best You. And even with relation to his book, he's given away 1,000 copies of The Question. That's a book by Bernardo. Also 100 online memberships. And those are worth a lot of money as well. Now, one of the things I think that we will be announcing later today is from John Shin. It's one 90-minute branding session, and that's worth $2,500.
Wow.
And we also have Vicky Shattini, and it's Blue Bullet. Let me just start all over. It's Vicky Shattini, and it's Bulletproof Wraps Workshop, Ticket and Investing 101. Okay, I was able to say at that time. And she's giving away 40 of those, 40 of those, and that's worth $3,888. 40 of those. That's a lot.
One of those?
What?
Are you getting one of those?
Well, as long as I can pronounce the name, I should be able to get one of those, right? You and me both. So, okay, so let me change it, Tony. She's giving away 38 of those.
Oh, right, exactly. I like how you think.
One for me, and yeah. Okay, Expand Your Brand Leader Package. That's worth $3,750, and that's from the Best You. Oh, and my name is on the list as well because I am giving away 2 global summits and coaching programs. So if you want to have your own summit and you've never done it, or even if you have done it before, I'm giving that away, and that's a $3,500 package.
Wow, that's very generous.
Hey, it's what I do. I'm a giving person.
I love it.
And then Jen, we will be talking with her today. And so she's giving away the one that I was talking about, I think 2-3 times, about the gut. 8 weeks for your gut health program worth $2,000. So you'll be sure when you do the introduction on that you kind of hype her up with her prize.
Exactly.
Giving away, yeah. So Dr. Faye, we talked to her, and that's a 1-hour life coaching session worth $1,999.97.
Big prizes, all of them so far are very big prizes.
Yeah, and it goes on and on, Tony. There's some that are worth less, but based on the prize they put on here. But the thing with the price is that it's priceless, right? Because if you can apply whatever it is that they're teaching, you can get the return on your investment just like that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this whole weekend, I mean, every weekend that we do these Best Yous, but there's just so much valuable information that if you guys have missed any of it from past expos or even yesterday, you guys can go to the Best You TV and catch all of it in the archives. So we always have on demand for you. So
yeah. Did you notice the ticker was updated? So $105,000 worth of giveaway.
I love it. Yeah, I'm very excited. Well, still wait. There we go. So just got Daryl in the green room. So yeah. Good. So you're going to do that introduction, and then I'm going to jump back on later. And so we're going to just kind of ping pong today, and we're going to just kind of wing it and have some fun. But I'm very excited, like I said, to be co-hosting day 2 here at the Miami Best You Expo. So I'm going to jump off. If you want to bring Daryl on, that's going to be all you.
Da-da!
How are you?
Tony, how you doing? It's like,
again,
I miss my Tony. I got to get my Tony in for the day. Every couple months, I need my Tony. How are you, my friend?
I love it. So meet Crystal. She's going to be doing your introduction today.
I know Crystal very well. We both spoke at an amazing, on a show called Speak Up, which we're going to show my episode today during my talk. And Crystal is just a dynamo. So who better to team up with me this morning than the amazing Crystal to kick off this day? I was just live with Bernardo in the main room, and then I had to hop off and get onto this room and find the link. So yeah, Bernardo invited me on there for a couple minutes. So I'm here. We're ready to get started. Here we go.
You guys have fun. Play nice. I'll see you in a little bit.
Super cool. Crystal,
Yep.
how you doing?
I am great. I am great. And it's always great to see you and to be here, to feel your energy. And you ready? You set to go?
I'm set to go. Listen, let's do something fun first. First off, hats off to all of the healthcare workers and everybody that kept Miami strong through this whole past year. I want to give you some fun facts about Miami before we go into, all the things that I do with Stern Marketing.
Sure.
Did you know that Miami is the only major U.S. city founded by a woman? Her name was Julia Tuttle, Tuttle, and she made Miami an official spot on the map when she encouraged a railroad mogul to expand to the area in 1896. And I know this has been a year of shutting down cities. Right. And let's make sure that when this whole thing, gosh forbid, we all get vaccinated and all this thing clears up, get to Miami. I grew up going to Florida, and God bless all of you down there in Miami today who are tuning in. Buenos dias. All right, so now we can get into the marketing stuff. But I love Miami. Miami, the beach is actually man-made, but it has to be constantly replenished. And it actually is a center for Art Deco, and the greatest Art Deco center in the United States too. So I just want to give a shout out to, Miami, because we're here, virtually. We're centering this in Miami. And wow, just the culture down there, and the beach is just like nothing else you've seen in the world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting place. And so I want to get into the Stern. So you're known around the world as the digital marketing Jedi.
That's right, because my moral of of all of my Facebook lives and all my videos is do or do not. There is no try, which follows along the philosophy of Master Yoda. And the other part of that is that you are a gift to the world, and the world needs your gifts. You can teach what you know and what you can demonstrate that you might take for granted, other people cannot believe. And this past year has been an explosion of doing Stern Storming sessions. I actually flew around the country with my mask on. I bought so many masks this year, it's ridiculous, to help people build platforms and build online courses, and then go out there on YouTube and create. So I've been honored to work with so many different people this year, and the combination of the way that we do this, which is to record these videos, transcribe them, do SEO, come out with them as articles on your LinkedIn, pound away on your network there, studying how YouTube tags work and all of that. It's when I say my hashtag is Get Stern, it really does mean Get Stern, that we're going to get serious about this. I'm going to pull out the content from you. And the other thing, Crystal, and you know this, is 90% of the success of our marketing is in us, our performance in the media, our acting in the media. When I am on camera, I could be sad this morning. The cat could have pooped on the rug and I'm storming in the office. But when that lights, camera, action goes live, I'm Daryl Stern, right? And I'm actually pronunciating and enunciating every word. I'm being careful about the pauses that I put into my speech to create that anticipation, right? So what I've learned and what I threw away, and what we're going to see in the video that you're going to play in just a second, is my talk about how when I was 4 years old, I told my dad, well, I don't even want to tell you what it is. We'll just play the video. But what it is when you center in the line of that thing that you did when we were 4 years old, when you go back in this Stern Storming exercise that I do, and I meditate with you, and we go back to the earliest memories that you have, all of a sudden there's a line that really is this thing that everybody's trying to search for, called your brand. It's in you. It's your story. And I have a unique way of pulling that out of people. So let's roll that, and then we'll come back in and I'll teach you guys some hot marketing tips to get you going on creating influence.
All right. Well, Daryl Stern, everyone.
And roll.
Video, yes, no, yes.
Video, yes, no. Are we playing the video? Do we have the video? I think they should have it. In green room, are you there? Do you have the video? If not, we'll just go on here. I know I gave that. I gave that to them. They said they could play it, but if not, we'll just. My
private messages here.
Yeah, you can private message them. In the meantime, I'll talk about a couple things, and if you guys want to cut me off and just roll the video, This past year was a tremendous year for our agency. I was traveling around the world, like I said, helping people create these online courses. But back home in the studio with all of our amazing crew, we actually created 1,017 videos for people like you and entrepreneurs all over the world. Those videos are in two different formats. There's two different parts to marketing. One is give people hope, and the second is prove that you can do it. So I'll explain what the definition of that, what that means in terms of the core philosophy in marketing. Again, it's two. You only have to do two things. That's it.
So you can go ahead and go over those two things.
Go ahead. So give me the fourth thing, and then when they have the video, they can just cut me off and roll it. So the two parts of marketing are give people hope and then prove that you can do it. Now, what I mean by that is in giving people hope, we want to look at what I would call situational avatars that your ideal customer is in from their point of view. So if you got your notebooks out, get your I'll let you pause the video for a second. Okay, and then I'll continue. And you can start rolling the video if you happen to pull it up. What I'm getting at is that here is how to create the perfect landing page video. The first line of your script is, are you scared? Are you frustrated? Are you upset? Now, this line shows empathy in giving people hope and bringing them into your landing page to purchase your course or go to your webinar or join your program or whatever the case may be. We want to show empathy. So we might do one just for this Best You Miami. Are you frustrated because your business hasn't tapped into the great expansive Latino market and you really, really, really want to be seen more and known more in amazing cities like Miami? Okay, there's an are you frustrated line. The next line shows a bit of sympathy and maybe even a little more empathy, which is where you say, do you hope and wish and pray that there was a way that you could do this? Okay, here we go. Roll the tape. Da-da-da-da.
So I'm about 3 or 4 years old, and I tapped my dad on the shoulder. I said, come here, Dad, you've got to get out a pad and a piece of paper. I'm about to dictate to you my entire one-man show based on the book Peter Rabbit. Get ready, here we go. I proceed to tell the entire story as a dramatic monologue, complete with set directions and all these kind of different things in it. And he's absolutely amazed. He just keeps going and writing and writing. He takes me to his philosophy class with him, and he sets up everybody, all of his college students, and he goes, my son is now going to put on a one-man show based on the book Peter Rabbit. That was my very first experience in storytelling and theater. It just seemed to come natural to me. As I grew up, I studied theater like crazy. And I had a talent agent, and between age 9 and age 16, this was all I was doing was show business. In 1983, I got the part of Scooter Computer on ABC's Schoolhouse Rock, which, if you're familiar with those old cartoons, I'm just a Bill Interplanet Janet, were the first cartoons to introduce kids to computers. And this was still, believe it or not, to this day, streaming on Disney+. I was then in 8th grade, half of 8th grade, I didn't go to public school. I was in New York City in the workshop for a Broadway musical, Smile, that starred a young lady named Jodie Benson, who would go on to be the voice of the Little Mermaid. Okay. At the same time, I discovered that I like to write. I still like to write stories, just like when I was 4 years old. So I started writing plays. I said, wait a minute, I don't want to just be on stage. I want to be backstage too. I want to write the production. I want to direct it. I want to put the whole thing together. Sure enough, the first play that I wrote won the New Jersey State Young Playwrights Festival. And the second one that I wrote in 1989 won the National Young Playwrights Festival. So I went to college to be a playwright and a theater director and a screenwriter and an actor. I was jacking into the woods. I wrote a full-length two-act play. It was produced by my college. You know, I won the President's Award in theater arts. I mean, my life was just, everything I touched just turned to gold. You know, when you're a kid, you're just amazing. Every little thing that you could do. You're such a talented kid. You're so talented. You're so gifted and talented. And in 1994, I was selling computers at Radio Shack. What the heck happened? All of a sudden, I wasn't on stage anymore. No one was giving me the part. No one was, you know, entering me into the contest. No one was helping me. The roof just fell out on everything. So my mother said, you're going to go to graduate school and you're going to get a master's in communications and go into television. And I said, okay, Mom. So I did that. I got a master's degree in communications in 1997. Now, this was a critical year because there were these little floppy disks at the CompUSA store that said, make a website, okay, with something called HTML and HTTP and all of this. I realized this was the thing that I needed to do. This theater wasn't working out. My talent agent called me and said, look, you're not going to be the leading man. You're going to be a character actor. I didn't really like that. So I learned HTML. And I started learning how to put these websites together. I was working in corporate America for about 15 years. I was, you know, coordinating different marketing departments and all of this. But I missed this. I missed being on the stage. 25 years of sitting in front of a computer, and I can raise my right arm over my head like that, but this I can't. It's called mouse shoulder. It's from sitting in front of a screen. So I'm here to tell you today that that thing that you put way back in your past, that thing that you said, oh, that wouldn't work out, for years and years and years, my mom and dad sold a big 4-bedroom house to pay for me to have this theater arts degree, and it didn't do anything. I didn't go on to be a world famous playwright or get the leading role in a movie or anything like that. But as I started to do marketing, something funny was happening. In 2005, all of a sudden they started streaming video on this thing called YouTube. And I'm sure we've all heard by now about this thing called social media. So all of a sudden one day I'm working with a client and we're talking back and forth, and she said, you know what? I started teaching her how to speak, how to act out her marketing. And she said, this is great, Daryl. I need a theater director for my marketing. I thought it was, hold on. And then I'm writing for another client, and I'm writing this blog, and he says, how are you doing that? You sound just like me. How are you writing like me as a character? And then I realized I'm an actor. And what I'm doing is putting on theater only in a digital stage. So I'm here to tell you today that you, all of you, are a gift to the world, and the world needs your gifts, what you can teach, what you know, and what you can demonstrate, that you kind of take for granted, that you put aside, that you kind of just think everybody must know that thing that you're able to do is your gift that can create your profits and influence. So my dad's a philosophy professor teaching me linguistic philosophy, etymology, and words have meaning. My mom is a school teacher teaching me how to write curriculums and how to organize, you know, classroom kind of sessions and all that. Well, meanwhile, I'm a playwright and an actor and a dramatist. So now I'm going to tell you how I put all those together to create my purpose in life. You see, when you finally, life kind of wobbles around, right? The train kind of wobbles around. I lost my father when I was 24 years old. We lost my mom to ovarian cancer. I got type 2 diabetes. I was hospitalized. And, you know, all that drama, that stuff that happens outside, that stuff that happens to you. But that has nothing to do with what my father taught me, which is that there are a couple of things in this life, in this world, that no one can take away from you. No one. No government, no force, no person, no bully, no nothing. And that is your education, your talents, and your gifts. So I met this local auto mechanic in 2016. Really smart kid. Has a master's degree in physics and engineering, and his sister was an opera singer. So he's very into theater, and he's a big ham kind of guy, likes to be on camera. So I said, okay, I'm going to build him a masterpiece, a Picasso in marketing with theater and media, and also with logic and something called SEO. So first thing I did was make him a website with 60 landing pages, one for each and every type of car that there is and every service that he can provide. Now, this is what I call a situational avatar. Now, listen very carefully. I don't care about demographics. A lot of people talk about I serve people between age 45 and 55, and they're women and they're something or other, or men or whatever, right? I don't care about that. I care about what situation someone is in, because marketing is two things. You see, I'm a philosopher, like my father before me. Watch this. Give people hope and prove that you can do it. That's what all this is. You get up in the morning, what should I do? Click the Facebook? What do I do with this LinkedIn? Should I make a blog? What do I do? Two things. Give people hope and prove that you can do it. So we made these separate landing pages, giving people hope and making a promise that this kid could fix a Bentley, a Lamborghini, a Honda, a Toyota Civic, whatever the heck it is, Honda Civic or whatever, okay? Then we've got to prove that the kid knows how to do it. So relentlessly, I went down to a shop and we demonstrated him doing what he does. How you are sells what you do, right? You actually living the life that you're living, doing the things that you're doing, and using your gifts. Now, there was something else that I had to do just besides make these videos and super optimize them on YouTube. I also wanted to transcribe them, okay, and write out all of the content, the words out of his mouth, and put them on the page. Why? Let's take a time machine back to 1989. There's this guy in Belgium, and he says, you know what? It's kind of boring to have to get out Eric's book out of the library, right? Public library, and flip through it, and it refers to D.D. Wong, and you got to take that book back to the library and go back to the library and get out D.D. Wong's book and flip to that book. What if we could link it all together? What if we could create a hypertext transfer protocol that could take a stream of text and mark it up with something called a hypertext markup language so it will appear on a page, and then do something else quite magical, link them together? In other words, we could go from one document to another in this expansive stream of the extension of our human consciousness called the World Wide Web. Now, let's go back to our auto mechanic. Over and over again, he's talking about brakes and single plane brakes and carburetors and shock absorbers and all these different kind of things. And I'm reading these blogs, what he's saying, and I'm finding linguistic patterns. You might have heard this terminology before. Keywords, key phrases that he, because he's using his gifts and he's tapping into that thing that he loves to do over and over again, he's using that. So all I started to do was link them together. You understand, there is influence in you. It's what you can teach, it's what you can demonstrate, and what you know. Okay, sales are coming in, we're doing pretty good. But then I said, wait a minute. I want to use this philosophical reverse engineering logic kind of brain that I have and say, let's reverse engineer influence. Let's reverse engineer something that could go viral. Okay, so a lot of people have a problem with something, right, that everyone's trying to solve, and you can solve it too, right? So here's your homework. I'll let you pause the video for a second so you can get a pad and a piece of paper. Okay, now, I used to be a stand-up comedian. I can't leave the comedy out of it. I had to put in something. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down 10 things that you can teach and that you can demonstrate and that you know, okay? Because what you're going to do is you're going to record those and transcribe them and just simply interlink them together and be relentless about it. Now, I grew up in Edison, New Jersey. Okay, world famous for the Wizard of Menlo Park, Thomas Alva Edison. Edison said there are two types of people in this world: those who are successful and those who quit. It's a motto in my life to be relentless, right? What is the problem with most people in business? What's the problem with most people trying to do something online is they do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 videos or blogs or Facebook posts, and they go, oh, it didn't work. And I say, look, you hardly tried to do it, right? Now think about someone who's a doctor or some of the other speakers that you're hearing from today who have studied for years and years and years to be where they are today. Did they just take some seminar, watch some seminar online and buy some $59.95 dollar kit through one of these, God forbid, funnel things and like just, turn around and start public speaking? No, they're determined to use their gifts and use their gifts to serve the world. So here's my challenge to you. Tap into yourself. Think about what your gift really is to this world. What can you teach? What do you know? And what can you demonstrate? Your business is not something that magically is over here where the rest of your life is over here. You see, I found my center. My bullet train is on course because every day when I get to do one of my stern storming exercises with someone, where I say, okay, the first thing we're going to do, you're going to think about in my mind is I want you to close your eyes and I want you to go back, all the way back to the first thing you can see, the first thing you could smell, the first experience that you had in life. Because those experiences, when you first learned a life lesson, when you first learned that people can love, where you first understood what caring was, when you first learned you could teach somebody something else, when you first learned something about philosophy, those things built who you are today. And you are a gift to this world, and the world needs your gifts. And when you tap into those things and you're relentless about it and you say, I know this, I know how to do this, I fixed this, I can help you. Give people hope and prove that you can do it. There is influence inside of you. I'm Daryl Stern. See you later.
Hey guys. Yeah, you can bring me back on live. We can just shut off the video. It's all good. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. That was an amazing experience working with Dee Dee Wong, who's one of our speakers here. So the moral of the story is that your marketing is inside of you. It is your gifts. It needs to be, though, presented in a way that is dramatic and true to who you are. Once we do this exercise, I can even show you, some examples. This is an exercise that we did, a stern storming session, where we actually came out with 217 different stories. This is from Mike Armstrong. He lives down here in Arizona near me. 217 different stories from his life that then are the map of the content. One of the biggest problems or frustrations I'm sure you have in creating digital marketing content is waking up in day and going, okay, I got to make something new. I've got to talk about my business. But here's the problem is when you're just talking about your business and you're just talking about pushing your business out. Hey, this is my business. Here it is. You're pushing. When you are being transparent and telling great stories from your life and giving hope to those that you can give help for. And I always say this too, ask yourself this about your business. What turns your soul on? In other words, what is it that you, at the end of the day, might drop out and go, wow, I saved some people's lives. I helped some people grow. I changed how some people think. I healed people from cancer. I helped people from stopping drinking. I moved people into a state of bliss. I coached them into a way where they can run their company better. This is just an example of some of the amazing types of people that we've worked with this year, like you, I hope, coming up. So giving people hope is where you actually then literally make them feel, wow, I found that solution. I found you. I found Crystal, right? She's an amazing coach. She's an amazing influencer, right? You're searching around and you're trying to find a solution to that thing that hurts inside of you. And then you see Crystal's video and you say, wow, right? Like, I'm so glad I found you. But at the same time, she's constantly producing content from her life, lectures on what she knows, teaching her philosophy, and that proves that she can do it. And in that magical combination through the structure of how we work together, we will be able to create more profits and influence than ever before in your business. Now, there's another part to this, which is something called SEO and search engine optimization, which I'll give you a little hint about it. At the intersection of you can fix a problem, and a lot of people are searching for the answer to that problem, and you add your own voice to that global conversation around fixing that problem, at that intersection creates your most viral content. 4 years ago, as I'm working with this auto mechanic, we did some research and we found that a lot of people drive Jeeps in Colorado, and that Jeep has a flaw called the Jeep death wobble. Well, guess what? Other videos out on YouTube with millions of views, hundreds of thousands, 40,000, 50,000 views. We put out this video, and a couple months later, Saul messages me on Facebook and says, you know, that video made us $20,000. That video made us $40,000. And now today, that one video on YouTube, among the 250 others that we did for him in 4 years, transcribed, made into blogs, SEO links, put out on Google Maps, which is the other social network that nobody talks about. And he has now made over $7.9 million. I'm so honored to be working with different people that I've gotten to work with and the new people coming on board this year, because I'm helping people cure cancer, get off of alcohol, clear the negative thoughts in their mind, stop anxiety, whatever the case may be. And we will work very hard with you to get at that trauma, right? To teach you how to act this out in a way that brings hope to people. And that when you're taking care of proving that you can do it, that you are manifesting to the truest extent, where you are presenting yourself as so knowledgeable, centered, pulling your shoulders back, imagining that there are wings of an angel coming out behind you, so that you literally do get to prove every day that you are a gift to the world. So I'm sure Crystal might have some questions for me. Crystal, if you want to come back on as the co-host here, maybe we can do a little Q&A a little bit and talk about this magical thing called Sternstorming and the influence that's inside you. I want your feedback. I just started public speaking 3 years ago, so I'm always looking to talk about it and to hear your questions, because digital marketing, is, where do I go? What do I do next? So do you have questions about this?
Yeah, I think the fact that you go through people's lives and look at, what are the different stories that you can use from that. I do that as well. And we want to bring Tony on here too for this part. He's going to add himself. There we go. And we'll just have you in the middle there. But
I'll put my arms around both of you guys.
I feel the love.
There you go, right? I feel the love. Feel the love, right?
But being able to bring the stories out, for people is key. Mm-hmm. And so you said with your name, it is a stern approach that you have to take with people, right? And so being able to get that out of people and then wrap it with all of the other things that you know about marketing is also key, because people don't necessarily know that you can use it in so many different areas. Like you said, LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, and have where it's just showing their life, that they're just living their life, but it's something that they can make money at. So what you do, I think, is priceless.
Thank you. The reason why I go through people's lives so much is when I get to writing those landing pages, in a part of that script, after you're giving people hope and saying, what if I could take you to the other side? What if I could teach you this? What if you could learn through this or break through this barrier? There's another part to the script that says, I promise you, because I have done this, because I've experienced this, because I'm living this. And as I'm listening to the story, just like I listened to Peter Rabbit, 40 something years ago when I was 3 years old and regurgitated as a story, I'm taking your story and I'm crafting it into playwriting. So I've experienced what I am teaching. I'm living proof of it because I know I am a dramatist, a playwright, and a theater director. Right. Yes, I also know SEO and YouTube and tags and how to post on Facebook and all these other gadgets that we use today that are just new ways of communicating. They're just a new stage for us. And that I've been doing, sitting behind this computer for 30 years, trying to figure out how all of this digital stuff works. But at its core, you can go back to the Bible as allegorical stories that move us, Grimm's fairy tales, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, whatever type of morality play you want to talk about, storytelling and crafting the acting and the drama out of that. Doria Cordova, who's speaking today, I flew to her in California, and she was able to condense her 2-hour-long presentations into 4-minute segments. And she was so surprised. She's like, wow, I can teach that whole concept in just 4 minutes. And I help you get this to a way that people can digest it and they can learn from you. And God bless my mom, who I lost to cancer years ago, who was a teacher. She was a school teacher, and we were always building curriculum, how to teach, how to make it so that these modules are teaching. So I'll give you another tip. Online courses are 4 videos in each module. Okay, get out your pens and your pieces of paper. This is what I developed. An intro, which is very short. Hey, welcome back. Last week I taught you this, then I'm going to teach you that. A story, which is a story from your life where either the upcoming lesson was totally not apparent, like you were totally the opposite of what you were about to teach, but then you learned a lesson, or that euphoria moment, that epiphany, when this happened in your life that you learned it. Then you teach the lesson in another video. And then finally, you give them an activity thing, an activity video, which is just as your homework is. And that's the formula that we did this past year to create over 14 online courses. And the miracle of the internet is this. A billion people can listen to Beyonce's music. Thomas Alva Edison, I grew up in Edison, New Jersey, can listen to her music and have an individual soulful experience, but she only recorded that song once, right? And the barrier that we reach in coaching and dollars per hour and how many clients we have to get each month, and we've got to be there on the Zoom call, and we've got to run the meeting and coach the people and all this stuff. You have to understand the miracle of the internet and the miracle of being able to record this experience and act as if the person is with you now learning, where they're going to see it later, and you can pause to give them that emotional, thing to react in that, which I coach you through, so that then it's a time-space continuum where a billion people can be learning from you while we're doing this interview. And that's the miracle of mass media and what Edison invented with that spinning vinyl disc, about 100 and something years ago, called the phonograph.
Yeah, I really want to add something. A mustard seed, right? The smallest seed probably in the world turns into a very big tree. And we use that. I've been sober almost 10 years, so I'm glad you addressed that. And we find our darkest day, when we thought we couldn't go any further, somebody gave us that mustard seed of hope. And now it's my job to share with somebody that's listening that if you can just hang on with that little bit of hope, we can show you a bright life, that your whole life can bless somebody else later if you just get past where you're at in this moment. Stay present, keep going. They say when you're in hell, don't sit, keep going. And this day, this too shall pass. And so hearing you share that you've helped a lot of people get sober, though a lot of these sober people in my community have gone off to do brilliant things that they may not have done prior to sobriety when they didn't have that spark.
Yeah. I'll give you a research for that. Dr. Barbara, like it's spelled, Dr. Barbara Academy. Her family she was not sober for about 40 years of her life, and literally had to be homeless, sleep on pallets to pull herself out of her own family and the incredible abuse. She finally stood up to her father when she was 19 years old, and her father, in a drunk blackout, they call it, clenched her throat and almost killed her. And she finally just got out of that situation. We made that into her course. She actually has 3. She's the only client that came out with 3 different ones. The next one is about PTSD, not from being in the military, but from this trauma. Yeah. So her course is only $10. We made it so cheap that 1 million people could purchase it, because if you're in the middle of that. Sorry, Crystal. Tony and I can just hang out all afternoon, you know.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just wanted to put up the L here because one of the things that you're saying that people need to really, really understand about how you go about that, and even how some of the greats do. I'll call it like Lisa Nichols and even like David Fagan. He can just change what you say into a story at the drop of a hat. And so what you're doing, Daryl, is listening to your clients so that you can then take that and put it back into how their words would be formatted. So that it's not like a digital marketer person, did this. It sounds like it's their language. So that L word, listening, is so key in how you do it with your gifts and talents.
So you are correct. I am a theater director who has produced plays, live theater, and directed actors. I teach you how to be an actor playing the role of yourself in your own online course. I flew to Washington, D.C. back in July to work with Dr. Ruby, and we filmed her entire online course plus 50 more videos in 4 days flat. A lot of people are frustrated because, the course is taking 6, 7, 8 months. And I said, let's go, bang, bang, let's do it. So in that living experience, I am the theater director. I'm literally in the director's chair with my phone, the clip-on microphone, the lights and all of that. And I go, okay, the next video is the lesson. Let's center on that. We know that these are the steps in the lesson. Ready, lights, camera, action. And I take you through that. And I've done that remotely. Danielle up in Denver is teaching people how to live in bliss. And we did it on Zoom. I just watched her film the course. I'm live with her on her laptop and she's making this course and we did it in 4 hours. The big difference that I bring to the table is I'm really teaching you how to pause, how to look at. When I used to be a voiceover actor, we would bold, and I'm sure Tony knows about this, we would bold in the script the word that you're supposed to really say, right? That you're supposed to say smooth, like pause on that word and extend it and slow down, so that then we can really add that piece of drama into it, which elevates you from the other people. I know there's lots of people doing storytelling marketing, but this is going a step further where I'm really teaching you how to perform it in the mode of an actor. I'll tell you one more story. When I went to London in 2016, I went to the Globe Theatre and I saw Shakespeare. It's a replica of it, but it's really there, the Globe Theatre where Shakespeare did his performance. And I said, wow, what is it, 500, 600, 400 years, Shakespeare's words have been, and poetry have existed in our culture. What if your marketing were so well phrased, was so poetic, was so well performed that it would still be here 400 years ago, that 400 years from now? What if your courses and your marketing and the stuff you're putting out on YouTube would be here long after you? Because it was so well crafted and you so nailed it and gave people hope and proved that you can do it and move people emotionally. The hint is right in front of us. You go to Facebook or LinkedIn, there's emotional buttons under the thing. It says like, love, wow, angry, or sad. So What do we want to do in this media? We want to move people emotionally, and that is called theater.
Well, they say all the time with the share, do you remember what they said? They said, no, but I know how I felt, and you'll never forget how you feel. And then you can go back and get more information if you're inspired through emotion. And we all, you can hear people and they goes, want, like Charlie Brown, right? Want. That's all you hear, want. And it's a lot of words that you think have value, you think, but maybe they're not getting it. Maybe it's not absorbing into their soul. But if you make them feel something, by telling the truth and being honest and vulnerable in front of them and showing them how you got out of your situation, then they start to listen and pay attention. You can hear all day long, but are you listening? The L.
And Crystal, you know this. I mean, people buy because of emotion.
Absolutely.
We all make emotional decisions to purchase anything. If you're not moving me emotionally, I talk to so many people so frustrated. They're putting out content and they're trying to do this and they're not understanding that we must move our audience, emotionally. The other part, especially with online courses and all of that, is we're not selling anything. We're not selling a course. We're enrolling students. My father, being a philosophy professor, taught me, words have meaning. The way you say everything can shift you from falling flat to Tony Robbins. right, to Bernardo Moya. Why are these people such great speakers? And so great at moving people? It's because they're looking at every single word in their talk and how they do it and where they're pausing and where they're doing it. A great exercise is just do a video blog, just do one. Go get it transcribed at rev.com, then read the transcription. And you'll find some funny things when you see "and" at the beginning of every paragraph. And I did that.
Yeah, that's funny. We have to do that a lot.
Right.
Kimi.com,
right.
Another source.
And then you can see if you're ready for stern storming, I can teach you how to eliminate all of those other words. The biggest word right now is basically. It's the new Valley Girl word. Remember the Valley Girl? Let's go to the Galleria, So everything says, what is your business about? Well, it's basically. There is nothing basic about you. Stop calling yourself basically anything. You're extraordinary. Get that word out of your vocabulary. And we practice and practice. Because what that is that's us thinking about the next word we're going to say. And we think our bodies are trained to keep making sound, just to keep and basically. And when we can learn that is a pause, which is the most powerful word in dramatic writing, is pause. To be or not to be. In Shakespeare's Hamlet, what Hamlet is contemplating is to exist, or should I do myself in? Should I leave this world and execute myself? Yeah. That's what he's saying in that line. So it's to be or not to be, not like, should I just pull myself out of this situation? And
even when I do this same kind of thing with my coaching clients, when they do their affirmations, it has to do with the inflections, like you were saying, the bold that you put on certain words, as well as pauses, because a lot of people suffer, for instance, from self-confidence issues. And so if you're going to say, I am confident, if you just say it like that, does not sound like you're confident. But if you say, I am confident, or I am confident, or I am confident, or even if you put it on all through 3, I am confident, that has more of a meaning, and your ears can hear, you can hear through your own ears how you're feeling about yourself. And so all of this is really, really key on how you say the words to yourself, and you being able to bring that out of people and then make it into their landing page, I think is just phenomenal.
Thank you, Crystal. And we are in a constant journey to understand ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I have monologued my way through my mom passing away from cancer, my father before that, the divorce, the business going up and down and being high and being low and all of that. And we have this internal discussion with ourselves. So thank you for doing such much work with positive affirmations, because it's kind of funny. You can just say, I'm great at this 5 times a day. Just trust me. I'm great at this. I'm great at it. I'm great at this. And there's this moment where it finally goes down to here, right? Because we can train ourselves to just say, you write positive affirmations. I'm a good business leader. I'm a good business.
It's funny. There's a restaurant.
I am a good business leader. And then all of a sudden you are it, right?
There's a restaurant here in LA called Cafe Gratitude, and you have to order by saying, and the menu, all the things that you're going to order is, I am beautiful, I am great, I am love, I am valuable. That's how you have to order it. And I can't tell you how many people I've brought there that cannot say that. They said, just give me that dish. They're like, no, you have to say the name of it. And they can't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
100%.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing chain restaurant all up and down California. So a little shout out to you guys. I love you guys. They're good friends of mine. Cafe Gratitude.
Exactly. And I've worked with Tony for years, to tell him, and he's repeated every day, I love this hat. I love this hat.
Absolutely.
Right? Because for years he wouldn't wear the hat. And I moved him. I'm kidding.
It was perfect for Miami, though. I actually need to do the Miami. Let's go 70s Miami. There we go.
So here's the funny thing. This is the Johnson and Murphy. We're going to go off on a tangent, Crystal, for a second. So this is Johnson and Murphy, their new style, right? This is what my dad, I'm turning 50 this year. This is my dad's clothes from 1973. And it's the latest fashion. They can't do much with a shirt, Crystal. Men in fashion, it's like, what are we going to do with the shirt? I mean, that's all we do with that shirt.
I don't want your last words to be, what are they going to do with this shirt? We need you to tell people where they can find you and all of that kind of thing.
So here's what I did. I made an extraordinary thing for you. If you go to www.sternmarketingacademy.com, everything there is 70%, 75% off with the code the best you. So you go and you get your email address and your password in there. If you buy one course, I'll give you all of them. You can do 4 hours of Stern Storming with me. It's 75% off than what you're going to see on there. And we will go through your entire life. We will create new online courses and platforms. I will write with you the most dramatic landing page content that you ever had. We can launch the whole thing. I've been doing this for 30 years, 30 days flat, from zero, not having any clue, to a full-blown online course, a platform, YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards.
Nice. That's a lot of value. Well, thank you so much. We're getting ready to run to our next section, but I know, Crystal, you want to end what you started, so let's take us to the next section with thanking Daryl.
Well, he told me to say thank you, Daryl. So thank you, Daryl.
You're welcome. And you're both a gift to the world. And thank you so much. Have a great day hosting the rest of this. You guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Oh, we're having so much fun. Well, we'll see you throughout the whole weekend. So you guys keep watching. This is the Best You Expo in Miami, and this is virtual. But for us, it's actually, I'm getting more engagement than I do at home because we're on a lockdown here. So this is very exciting for me to be engaged with other human beings. So you guys keep watching. We'll be right back.
The Best You TV, a TV channel with only the best business leaders and influencers ready to help you rise to the top. Available now on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. Are you in the personal development world trying to reach a larger audience? Are you a motivational speaker, an author, therapist, coach, or business guru tired of pushing out content with little results? Gain more clients and expand your business today. Get your show or content on The Best You TV.
I was watching a DVD of Sid Banks, who's a Scottish welder who got enlightened and was sort of the philosopher behind what I do. And he just said something so simple that I'd heard before. But he said, every human being has innate mental health. And I was drinking a beer while he said it, and I, like out the nose. I don't know why, but I heard him. I got that was true even about me. And that was that moment I talked about at the beginning where I went, oh, I've spent all this time trying to not be depressed. And my second book, I was literally 10 days away from going out on tour to promote it, which was all about how to do stuff to handle your depression. And I suddenly saw beyond a shadow of a doubt, I was born happy. No, babies don't need therapy. We learn to be unhappy. And the truth is, the second we stop thinking the way that we've learned to think, we're right back to the default. That was both the best news I had ever had, because it meant I wasn't damaged and didn't need fixing. It was more like waking up from a dream. Like even if you have a nightmare, you don't have to go back after you wake up and fix what happened in it. I just woke up. And it was terrible because I was about to be on a book tour promoting something that I could now see was fundamentally incorrect. So I got through that. But I was never the same and my work was never the same because I could never look at somebody and see them as broken anymore. And I'd paid lip service to that. I mean, I'd said, oh yeah, you're not broken, you just have bad programming. But I hadn't seen how fundamental it was in me that I was broken and how fundamental it is in so many of us that, well, yeah, we can become higher and higher functioning, but underneath it all, it's still pretty turmoil, still pretty messed up. And I don't have a better word for it than blessing and grace. It was a blessing. It was grace to have that taken away from me, to see that wasn't real. And what was beautiful about it was because it didn't come through a particular religious practice, I was able to talk to anyone about it. I didn't have to say, join this religion and then it will be taken off you. Because obviously we've heard stories like that. It was just through a deeper understanding of the mind. And I've just been committed to that work ever since, and the new book, The Inside Out Revolution, That's my first real attempt at going full out. Like Super Coach, I talked about what I'd learned from it in a way. In this book, I've just shared what it is I saw. And I hope, well, I know actually, because it's already happening, that other people will get to have that same experience.
Are you sick and tired of struggling to get your career to where you want it to be? Working with the right coach can be a life-changing experience, and Bernardo Moya is changing lives all over the world. Learn how to create revenue streams, attract higher qualified clients consistently, market your brand, and promote your business to a global audience. Bernardo is one of the biggest names in the world of personal development. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, and a founder and chief inspirational officer of the Best You Corporation. So fast-track your career now. Best You Store. Helping you do more, achieve more, be more. Store.thebestyou.co.
All right, here we are. We're back. We're just getting Jen, who's in the green room. We're getting some technical things worked out here. So we'll do what we do so well is we improv and we share with our guests and our viewers all the wonderful gifts that they could win just by registering here at the Best You Expo in Miami. Crystal, do you have the help? There's Jen right there. We don't have to do this. We'll do this afterwards. So you ready to bring Jen right in?
Yeah, bring her in. I'll say hello and then I'll skedaddle.
I love it. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Fantastic. It's so great to see you guys.
Good. I'm Tony and Crystal. We just want to say hi to you.
Hi. So I'm having a little bit of technical issues. My browser just completely reset a second ago. So
there we go. We learned in the expo just to breathe.
Working on it.
So I'm going to do a quick little introduction, give you a couple seconds during your introduction, and then we're just going to throw it to you, and you're going to have, the rest of the hour to do what you do. We'll come back in about 5 minutes before just to give you some love and help you wrap up, and then and just ask you a couple questions.
Awesome. Do I need my own virtual background, Tony?
Well, it's just a green screen with a little white top on the thing, so it's really up to you for this to go into the archives. If you have it, that would be great. If you don't, this works.
Okay. I thought that they said just do a green screen and they were going to create it. So that's what I did.
We just go with the flow. So it's really about what you're sharing. If you're able to push the camera in just a little bit to take off the little white there, the full green, we can do it in post as well. So the wonders of technology.
Because otherwise you go down to lighting and stuff.
Yeah, you just have to pull the green screen closer or your camera closer, but that's fine. We'll just go with it. I'm going to do a quick little introduction though, so it's an honor to introduce you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jen Beck. She is our speaker. She's an international coach for women over 40 who have been struggling with weight and health issues. And over the last 20 years, Jen has empowered thousands of women to transform their lives by ditching the diets and drugs and instead solve the root cause of their health and weight challenges. She coaches women on how to create long-lasting results through small strategic changes. This is Jen Beck. So how are you today?
Fantastic, Tony. Thanks so much for a great introduction. Excited to be here today.
Well, we're happy to have you. I really want to just give you as much time as possible. So again, we'll jump on about 5 minutes and just say bye to you. So again, Jen Beck, everybody put your hands together. Very honored to hear this share.
Thank you. Thank you. So in America, we have a huge problem. And I mean huge. Right? We are the fattest country in the entire world. Over 60% of our population is overweight, and over 40% is actually obese. So we are dealing with massive issues. And here's the thing that most people don't realize, that I personally think is a bigger problem, is the fact that we last year, as a country, as an economy, spent $72 billion on that problem. And yet, over the last 18 years, we have increased the amount of obesity in our country. We've increased the amount of obesity in our kids. Our kids last year were at 18.5% of all of our kids. Almost 20% of our kids are obese. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember when I was a kid, there was like the one fat kid in the class. And now it's really becoming more of an epidemic. And I think with that, I think we can all agree that diets don't work. Yet we keep spending more and more money on trying to find the solution for our weight and our health issues. And so what I'm going to talk about today are the 3 secrets that the diet gurus don't want you to know. Right? We're talking about, the experts in fitness and weight loss that tell you just, all you have to do is just eat less than what you burn and you'll be fine. Right? Or maybe it's Weight Watchers that tells you how to count points or teaches you how to count points, but doesn't tell you why your body needs to eat certain foods or which foods are the right ones for you. And they're still pushing processed foods and packaged foods at us. Right? Or maybe it's keto, where it's overhaul everything today, go into total ketosis, and make sure that you have 0 carbs whatsoever. Unfortunately, it's just not sustainable. Most people are struggling with their weight today because they are trying to fit into a box that is one size fits all, and none of us are the same as anybody else. So it's so important that we look at what's right for our bodies. And I get it. I mean, there's the desire to lose weight, and it's important, right? It's important because when you're overweight, what does it affect? It affects our health. It affects our energy. It affects our moods. It affects our interactions with our kids. It interferes with our performance at work or in the gym. So when we're overweight, there are so many different impacts for us. And when we have the ability to lose that weight, it does free up a lot of things in our lives. But I'm going to talk about why weight shouldn't be the primary focus. Okay. And I get going on a diet. Believe me, I've been on tons of them. I remember when I was younger, I did the cottage cheese and carrot diet for an entire year. Literally for lunch every day for a year, I ate cottage cheese and carrots. Why? Because it was low fat and low calorie, and that's what you should do, right? And unfortunately, it didn't do anything for my waistline. And then I went on the Mayo Clinic diet where you eat 500 calories a day and you have a cup of black coffee with each meal, and there you go. And let's see, Weight Watchers. I mean, I've done them all. And the thing that I've come to realize over the last 20 years of working with women and helping them to ditch the diets and reclaim their health is that there's no one size fits all. It's about creating a lifestyle, which diet is supposed to mean lifestyle. But we've completely bastardized the word and changed it into, I'm going to eat like this until I get to where I want to go. And then I'm going to go back slowly to all the things that I was doing in the first place that created my weight gain originally. So I wanted to really leave you with this, is that diets don't work. And I think we can all agree with that. But we need to do something different. And that's why today I'm going to share with you the 3 secrets that the diet gurus don't want you to know, so that you can ditch the diets and create freedom. So the first secret I want to talk to you about is the secret of eating for your body, right? This goes back to, when you have a girlfriend that goes on a diet and you go on the exact same one and she loses 20 pounds and you gain 10, right? It doesn't matter what the right diet is unless it's the right one for you, right? Because there's a ton of different diets that are out there, but it has to be the one that's right for you. So one of the things that I recommend people doing is learning their metabolic design. Your metabolic design is how much protein, fiber, and fats that you need, and then which of those foods are your best fuel, and which ones are going to slow you down and sabotage your health. Now, I do this is an assessment I do in the office. If you want to start looking at yours, the best thing you can do is start tracking how you feel after a meal. So if you eat a meal and a half an hour later, you're tired and sluggish, you have digestive issues, a headache, all of those are indicators that the foods that you're eating just aren't working for you. So you can start honing in on where you are, how you're feeling, and what's next. Okay. So it's really important that you're paying attention to your body, right? And if we don't, we end up with energy crashes. We end up with cravings and hunger and all types of different challenges in our health, which can simply be fixed by what we stick in our mouth and changing that. You may not know that the Journal of the American Medical Association came out and said that 74% of all disease is linked to what we put in our mouth. 74%. So the thing is, we've got to personalize it. And we can look at what food sensitivities we have. We can look at how much protein, fiber, and fat are ideal for what your body needs. Because again, it has to be personalized to you. Otherwise, it doesn't work. We end up with the spikes and crashes in our blood sugar and our energy levels. You know, I have a client that I worked with a couple years ago, and the first day we worked together, we did her metabolic design assessment. And she learned that day how much protein, fiber, and fat she needs, and then which foods to eat and which ones are not ideal for her. And from that day to the next 2 weeks, she dropped 9 pounds. She was forcing herself to go to bed at 11 o'clock at night instead of falling asleep on the couch when she come home from work at 6. And she was actually volunteering to take her girls to their activities versus, you know, putting them off on her husband. And her coworkers even commented about how happy and how pleasant she was to be able to work around. So it was a massive transformation because she implemented one thing, one change in eating for what her body needed versus what all the plans that she had been on before. Because she had done the South Beach and the Weight Watchers, and you know, and some of them are even more obscure or more extreme. Things like, you know, the frugivore diet or veganism or the carnivore diet, where all you eat is meat and that's all, right? So there's a lot of different diets, but the thing again is just to go back to what works best for you. Because if you're not eating for your body, again, it doesn't. It's really hard to lose weight. And when we're looking at a metabolic design, there's a spectrum. You have carbohydrate on one end and protein on the other end. And anywhere in between, there's a sliding scale. For somebody that is a protein design, they need to have half of their plate coming from protein and the other half coming from veggies and from fats, because they don't do really well on carbs and sugar. Now, somebody on the other end of the spectrum, on the carbohydrate end, they need 70% of their diet coming from carbohydrates, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, not really a lot of sugar, right? Because we're looking to maximize our health and maximize our weight loss. But it's important to still have the other balance of the proteins and fats. And so that scale, you're somewhere on that scale. And when you know how much of your plate should look like that and anywhere in between, we can really customize what you need to be eating and then fine tune it into, you know, it's really not ideal for you to be eating steak because your body doesn't convert it well into energy, right? When somebody's a carbohydrate design, their body is slow in converting food into energy. So they need to eat foods that convert faster, which is why grains and fruit and veggies work well. Now, somebody's a protein design absolutely can eat a steak and enjoy it and will have the ability to digest it. So it's important that we look at what's right for your body, because your body is the only body that we should be worried about. Okay. So secret number two is getting to the root cause, right? There are reasons why you have weight loss resistance. And for many people, they just think that the diet didn't work for them or that they failed the diet. And I just want to reassure you, it is not that you failed the diet, it's that the diet failed you. Diets are set up for failure. Why? Because the diet gurus wouldn't make any more money if they healed everybody and nobody had to work on losing weight. So diets don't work because they overhaul everything in one day. They're not sustainable. And then they don't work. And then we go, oh, I got to find the next one. What's the next one that I can try? What's the next one that's going to work? Right? And so it's a matter of finding the root cause of why your weight isn't moving and why you're not able to release it. And there's about 9 different reasons why we have weight loss resistance. You know, we can have thyroid issues, hormonal issues, we can have liver congestion, we can have poor gut health, we can have food sensitivities, you can be dehydrated. Did you know that dehydration, your body actually packs on weight to start or to help regulate your body temperature if you're dehydrated? Something as simple as drinking more water can be able to help, but you've got to get to the root cause, right? It can be emotional. I have women that I've worked with over the years where they have, they've been dealing with emotional issues. Maybe they had some emotional trauma, like, abuse, bully, rape, molestation, things like that. And now their subconscious mind feels safer when they're not being visible or not being seen. So many of these women can lose weight for a little while, but as soon as they start getting attention, they start packing it back on to feel safe again. Right? And sometimes we're dealing with high insulin levels. inflammation, right? There's so many different reasons why we have weight loss resistance and why we can't lose weight. And so when we get to the root cause, it allows us to transform our overall health. So just to do a quick little mini assessment and follow along with me on this, if you have extra weight and you can't lose it, chances are you're dealing with one of the things that I just discussed, right? But if you wake up in the morning and you have pain and you can't lose weight, chances are you have high inflammation. If you have a neck a thickness in your neck that goes around here, that can be thyroid. For some people, it can also be more insulin resistance. It depends on where you carry your weight, right? That tire around the middle can be thyroid. If it's more below the belly button, especially for women, it can be estrogen dominance. If you have more of that beer belly effect, that's liver, right? So getting to the root cause, we can look at different factors and trying to get to the bottom of it. But if we don't, we are doomed to not only have poor weight loss, we're also doomed to long-term health issues because our health is the most important thing. It's important to get to the root cause of why you're dealing with weight in the first place. You know, a lot of people think that weight is the issue. And I'm here to tell you, weight is not the issue. If you lose weight, will you feel better? Yes, absolutely. Will you be more confident? Will your clothes fit better? Yes, all of those things are true. However, if we only lose weight, we haven't fixed the root cause. So guess what comes up again, or guess what is made worse? Now, that's not to say that some of the things you do to lose weight aren't also addressing that root cause. But for most people, I have found the most success, and especially lasting success, by helping them get to the root cause and healing that root cause. Okay. For example, I have a gal that when we worked together, she was in her mid-50s. She had tons of health issues, and she had been trying to lose weight for over 30 years. She had done Weight Watchers when she was in her 20s, hit her goal weight. Yay, congratulations. Now she's a free lifetime member. Unfortunately, she was back to Weight Watchers 1 to 3 times a year, every year for 30 years. She also had tried just about every other diet under the sun. And when she met me, or when we worked together, she was still dealing with health issues. She had just finished the hospital program where you drink 3 shakes a day and have a sensible meal. And she had just finished that. And over the course of a year, she lost 4 pounds. 4. And they said, great job, keep going. And she's paying $600 a month for 4 pounds a year. It's insanity. So she went through my immersion program. It's a 3-month program. And in that 3 months, we got to the root cause of her health issues. We got to what her body needed and then helped her to plan and implement it so she could live it and not diet. And in that 3 months, she dropped 25 pounds. She put her rheumatoid arthritis completely in remission. She got off 3 blood pressure medications that she had been on for over 30 years. And it was an easy transition for her because we do it baby step at a time. So think about yourself, or think about that person that you know that has struggled with losing weight. And think about what your core issue could be. Is it insulin? Right? Insulin is like a fat fertilizer. So when you eat sugar, your blood sugar bounces up and down, and so does your energy levels. Right? And I know this is how I lived in my 20s. I drank a half a pot of coffee for breakfast. I had, some kind of carb with it, whether it be a donut or a bowl of cereal or toast. And then lunch was usually fast food. There was a couple Diet Mountain Dews in the afternoon, and then a ton of sugar throughout the day because all I was doing was existing. I was surviving the day. I wasn't necessarily thriving. And so when I started eating for my body, it was amazing the transition that happened because all of a sudden my energies were stable. Instead of doing the coffee in the morning, I switched to water and a green smoothie. And at that point, I didn't need the coffee and sugar anymore because I already had great energy. And then I was eating nourishing foods for lunch. And I ate nourishing meals for dinner instead of lean cuisines, right? And it was amazing because when we eat right for our body, things just work right. So if you're struggling with your health, look at the root cause, or if you're struggling with weight loss, look at the root cause about what is going on and why is it happening? Because the bottom line is figuring out what that root cause is allows you to have the transformation lifelong, because you no longer are fighting your body. You're no longer fighting the scale. You're just living and fueling your body the way that it wants to be fueled. And you've taken care of and healed that root cause. Now, secret number 3 is really your relationship with food. Okay. And your relationship with food is driven by a couple of different things. We all have a food story, right? We all have ways that we grew up in the culture of our family, the influences, some of the programming that we received then, right? Anybody part of the Clean Plate Club, right? You're going to sit there until you finish every vegetable on that plate, right? And sometimes maybe we were there until bedtime, or it's, you come home from school and you had a bad day and you got a cookie. And maybe you came home from school and you had a good day and you got a cookie. Or, you only eat healthy foods, or you do, your family is a soda drinker, or you do pizza and soda on Friday nights, right, for a Friday night treat. We all have these patterns and habits that we've grown up with, and most of us take them into our adult life until we decide they're not serving us anymore. So it's really important that we look at where we're at now and where do we want to go. Okay, there's an acronym that I love, because here's the thing: if we don't address our relationship with food, you're going to default back to the way that you were living before. Right? If you are a stress eater or an emotion eater, maybe you're one of the victims of the COVID-19, not the virus, but the 19 extra pounds that many people are carrying after 2020. Right? Maybe it's because of the stress eating, or because you're at home and there's the ability to snack all the time and things like that. And so it's really important that we get to look at, why are we doing what we're doing? What are the choices that we're making, and are they serving us or not? So there's a great acronym that I love that Overeaters Anonymous uses a lot. It's called HALT, and it stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And this is an incredible tool that you can use when you start feeling like, I just need something, right? Or you start wandering in the pantry, or you start going and you start having cravings. Pause and think about, why do I want this? Because when you can pause and you can look at yourself and start to figure out what those drivers are, then it puts you back in the driver's seat. Because if we're just living on default or on autopilot, chances are we're going to end up sitting in front of the TV with a bag of chips or a bag of cookies. It's not going to be, I think I'd like to have some carrots and hummus while I watch TV. Now, not to say that nobody will do that, but chances are we're not going to be mindlessly eating a lot of nutritious foods. It's usually the comfort foods. It's usually the habitual foods. And many of those are not serving you if you're trying to lose weight.
I agree 100%. I always have these almonds ready in case my blood sugar drops versus candy, because you might get that instant satisfaction, but then the drop after the spike could be deadly.
Absolutely.
Could be deadly.
Absolutely.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we are on a tight timeline, so I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing. Is there places people watching could go to see more about this topic?
Yes, absolutely. You can go to CompleteHealthRevolution.com. You can also follow me on Facebook at Complete Health Revolution. And I've got a free gift for everybody, and it's how to drop a dress size in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so if you go to CompleteHealthRevolution.com/free gift, you can be able to find it there, download it, and it's a step-by-step guide on how you can be able to download or drop a dress size in 3 weeks.
It's pretty amazing. I need to drop a dress size. Well, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being at the Best You Expo here in Miami. We're really excited to have you. Make sure you stick around for the rest of the week. We've still got another day and a half to go. This is the Best You Miami. I'm Tony Boldy, your co-host. My other co-host is on the other stage where Dee Dee Wong is going to be. So you guys, if you're watching, just keep watching the link you're watching. We'll do all the work for you. Again, you're watching the Best You TV. We'll see you guys in a minute. Stay tuned. We'll go to a
Hi, I'm Bernardo Moya, founder of The Best You. Are you a motivational speaker, an author, a therapist, a coach, or a business guru trying to raise your profile and reach a global audience? At The Best You, we've been building our brand for many years, helping those in the world of personal development get their message out there through The Best You Expos, The Best You Magazine, and The Best You Online. And now we're looking to grow our community even more. We've recently launched The Best You TV, available on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and Google Play. So now by partnering with us, you can get your show on the Best You TV, you can contribute to the Best You magazine, add your courses to the Best You online, and join us at one of the Best You virtual expos happening around the world. Expand your brand and join a growing community that believes that everyone deserves a life without limits. People want to be the best, become the best, learn from the best. That's why in 2021, the Best You TV will bring you its new TV series that will feature the top and the best speakers, coaches, authors, and mentors. Coming soon to the Best You TV.